The interview.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
What's up?
Oh no!
I'm Graham Margera, and this is Rat Trap Penis.
Ah! Fuck! As an incredibly famous man, what is the funnest car you've ever driven?
Funnest car I've driven is probably the one I have now. Well, I have a blue convertible Murcielago, but it also sucks because where I live, the rain is unpredictable. One day I decided to drive to the beach, torrential downpour, and I figured out that the faster that you go, the more the rain skips over you. So I'm like borderline hydroplaning, like trying to get home. And but yeah, that's a fun car. I also have a DeLorean, one of them Back to the Future cars, but it's so hard to drive the stick shift because it's just really old school. So
an ancient vehicle.
It pretty much just sits in the driveway and collects rust.
What's the best party you've ever been to?
Probably the Jackass premiere party, just because everybody was there. And whenever you throw a party yourself, it always you wind up too stressed, you know, because you're the one responsible. Like, all right, so and so is going to show up. I got to make sure he has a seat. I got to make sure. Oh, this is going in a disaster. But if you just show up to somebody else's party, then it always winds up good because you have no responsibilities. Worst party I've ever been to was P. Diddy's. They said it was free drinks, blah 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 blah. I walk in, I order a Heineken. It's $30. Then I stepped on some homeboy's brand new Nike, and he wanted to beat the shit out of me. He was like, "Yo man, you just scuffed my..." I'm like, "Dude, we're in a packed ass club. I can't even move. Of course somebody stepped on your shoes."
You've mentioned in the past that some of your fans can be a little bit odd, to say the least. There was a story you told at one stage about a naked girl who'd been hiding in your treehouse for quite some time. Have you had any other interesting run-ins with obsessive fans?
That was the gnarliest. Just the fact that this girl showed up. I have a 10-foot fence. She hopped it naked. I don't know where her clothes were or how she even got there, but she snuck into my house, and yeah, it was just. I see the silhouette of this naked girl, and I turn on the lights. I'm like, "Who are you?" She's like, "The owl sent me from Jupiter." I'm like, 911. Then the police come, and when there was like 5 police cars coming into my driveway, she sees that she's got to get arrested, so she does a cartwheel naked and then runs into my woods. Like, did the cartwheel...
Did they catch her, or was it...
They finally found her after 7 hours of searching. And she was hiding in my tree fort that collapsed 2 months later in a rainstorm. So if she would have been in that, she wouldn't be here today.
You've mentioned in interviews before that you're not always entirely comfortable with being famous. I've always thought that being really famous would be like the answer to literally all of my problems. But can you tell me what you like about it and what you don't like about it?
The good things about it are you get a lot of free things from rich people, and if they recognize you on a flight, then they'll give you first class, things like that. And but then the downside of it is you always have to be happy to see somebody. Like, if you're tired and groggy at the airport and all you want to do is die, you're like, "Hey Bam, can I get a photo?" Like, ugh, you know, Bam was a real asshole. Like, dude, because I just flew from Hong Kong to Amsterdam to, you know, so whenever you see a fan, you have to try your best to be nice, and you'll always get interrupted. Like, if we're at a restaurant right now and you want to do an interview without any interruptions, there'll be somebody that'll come up, not knowing that they're ruining the whole program, but they'll do it.
Yeah. You just made a new film called I Needed Time to Stay Useless.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's a bit different from the stuff you've done before. So what's it all about?
It's basically about me, you know, growing up, finding a skateboard, becoming pro, becoming a millionaire at the age of 16. And then my best friend dies in a car accident, and then, you know, I kind of got lost in the sauce for a year or so, and then it kind of shows how I snapped out of it. And, you know, it was just really hard to deal with, but it's called I Needed Time to Stay Useless. And Brent from Mastodon, the guitar player, actually plays Ryan Dunn because they look exactly the same. Same beard and all that, except for his face tattoo that we had to cover up with makeup.
Your relationship with Ryan Dunn was both professionally and personally clearly incredibly important to you.
Yeah.
His death obviously affected you really deeply, and in the grand scheme of things, it was still pretty recent. So, like, are you okay? Like, how have you been dealing with it?
As time goes on, it's easier to deal with, but you know, I never lost anybody that I like officially cared about. It was always like an aunt from Colorado that I met once, you know. I'm like, oh, all right, well, big deal, whatever, you know. But that was just like, boom, like the worst phone call you could ever imagine. And just the fact that even right now, if I was doing an interview, he would be right here, and we just flow really well together. And you know, when that kind of just ended, I really realized how important our friendship was. Yeah. So,
what does the future hold? Is music your main focus from now on? Will we ever see another Jackass film? Will there ever be more professional skateboarding?
I mean, we're always writing new Jackass ideas, and like even I have enough to, you know, when we see that we have ideas like this high, then we're like, all right, that's enough for a movie, so let's get to it. But it's just a matter of when we could get everybody together at once, because Johnny Knoxville's been filming with Jackie Chan doing this movie in like Shanghai and Mongolia for like the past 4 months. So I guess as soon as he's done filming and promoting that, then we'll get started. But I definitely think that there's a new Jackass in the works pretty soon.
Fantastic. Finally, our head of Sneaky TV, James, really wants to know, is Lil Wayne as nice as he seems?
He's the man. Like, you know, he's just so into skateboarding, and I just think that that's rad. You know, like he has a little half pipe on his tour, like that he skates before tour, and whenever he's in LA, like he'll call up like his skate buddies rather than go do a rap song or whatever. Like, I just like how he's so into skating. And I was in Petaluma where you know, Nikki's parents are from, and I look across the street, it says Snoop Dogg is playing, you know, so I called Lil Wayne. I'm like, hey, can I get a Me+6? Like instantly backstage on the tour bus just from a quick phone call to Lil Wayne. Like, you know, like, and if he's gonna spend his time answering my phone call, rigging up shit for me, he's the man in my eyes.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us, Ben.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
Totally.
That's surprisingly not.
You have to do it on your dick.
I can't do it on my dick,
Come on,
dude.
man. Hedge fund. Do it for hedge fund. Do it for hedge fund.
Can you so upset?
Just do it for
Dude, you get naked in all your shows anyway.
I'm not doing it on my dick. Oh, right. No!
Come on!
Do it. I see you do it.
It hurts so fucking much. Alright.
Yes!
Alright, well, I'll do it if Bam's doing it. I can say Bam's trying to put a fucking mouse trap.
Look, we set this up.
Oh, God!
Oh my god.
Oh, my God!
What's up,
Oh, no! Don't do this to me.
I'm Sam Margera, and this is Rat Trap Penis.
Ah! Fuck!
I think the fact that you're not circumcised helped.
I think it did. I think
Yeah.
it definitely helped. It gave me some nice cushioning.
I would've bent my dick to my ass so I could fuck myself. I would've bent my dick around the back of my ass so I could fuck myself. Oh, hell no!